Shalom, I hope you all are doing well. I am blessed and I'm back again with a quick video. Today I have a very interesting topic lined up, and I find it really strange that many people have a hard time dealing with this topic, even though this is the world that we live in. Have you ever noticed how things that used to feel uncomfortable don't feel uncomfortable anymore? Like, look at this picture here. We're calling this fashion. We're calling this art, and we're celebrating it. I'm here to tell you that this isn't creativity anymore. If something looks dark, feels dark, and keeps showing up over and over again, at what point do we stop calling it just entertainment? And here's the real question that nobody wants to ask. If this isn't dark, if this isn't pushing something deeper, then what is it? If this isn't wicked, evil, then how does wicked and evil really look? Now take a look at this picture of Katy Perry. Her face is completely covered. But it's not just covered, it's being replaced. So they're presenting her to look human, but not quite. And that's what I want to pay attention to, because we're starting to see more and more of this, where the human image is being blended, altered, reshaped into something else. And they call this fashion, and they call it creativity. My question is, why are we moving towards something that looks in between? I'm telling you to pay attention, because when the image of what's human starts to shift, that's not just a style, it's an influence. So you see Katy Perry here with her 6 fingers. Normally, humans aren't born with 6 fingers unless, in rare cases, you have a deformity. And in that case, a lot of people even get it removed. But in a fashion show, how does it fit in? 6 fingers on each hand with a metal face. Now, this is the Met Gala 2026. And for those who don't know, this is supposed to be one of the biggest nights in fashion, where celebrities come together to express art and creativity, right? That's what they say it is. So here we have different people, different outfits, but the same feeling. Faces covered, expressions removed, almost statue-like, lifeless. One looks completely veiled, no identity at all. Another looks like a figure carved out of stone. And then you have this pale, almost ghost-like presentation. These are exaggerated features that don't look human. And we're seeing this over and over again. It's repeated, where the human image is either hidden, distorted, or turned into something entirely different. I'm just being honest, this doesn't feel uplifting. It feels cold, empty, demonic, satanic, dark, and it feels disconnected. If you want to call it fashion, you can. But when you keep seeing the same things, covered faces, lifeless expressions, and unnatural presentations, you have to ask yourself, why does this keep showing up? Now take a look at this one. This man actually has a snake coming out the back of his body. He's presenting himself as half snake. I need you to really think about this, because out of everything they could have chose to present or represent, why a snake? We all know what happened in the Garden of Eden. The serpent wasn't just an animal. It was tied to deception, it was tied to subtle influence, and it was tied to leading people away from the truth. So when I see this being put on display, celebrated, photographed, praised, and all along I'm thinking to myself, this is not fashion. This is symbolism. And whether people want to acknowledge it or not, symbols mean something. Because it's not just an outfit. It's the covered faces, it's the distorted features, it's the blending of what's human with what's not.
Demon possession is in full swing at the Met Gala. These celebs aren't even trying to hide it anymore. This one's got literal hands coming out of her dress, not only copying a feel, but they're robotic and they keep touching her. This is Nicopac Soupap, and she is the first Thai to be invited to the Met Gala, which I don't know how that is, but this is all mechanical. Apparently this is inspired by the creation of Adam and Michelangelo, but this just looks like she's got demonic arms coming right out of her controlling her. This one, who's barely wearing anything, at least has a top on, and it's hands, and they're reaching around and grabbing her chesticles, and it looks like she's getting a big old demonic chest hug. And poor Katy Perry, who's never had enough attention in her whole life, comes with a mask, and it's that 6 fingers. We have 6 fingers, delightfully human of her. Guess going to space didn't give her enough attention, so she had to come like this and support her best friend, Jeff Bezos, who helped her get to space and do wonders for planet Earth. And this wealthy look at me party and this waste of resources and money is brought to you by Jeff Bezos.
It's just crazy that people are still fooled by this kind of stuff into thinking it's fashion. Now, this right here, this is the whole reason I'm even making this video. This picture right here. I ran across this picture on the internet. I said, what in the world is this? And, you know, I didn't know if it was, I thought it was a woman, but it's actually a man named Jordan Roth. You guys might know who he is, you might not, but it doesn't even matter at this point. What got me is, you know, it just struck me, my discernment. This doesn't look like fashion at all. So when I look at this, I'm just going to be honest. What it looks like to me, it looks like an entity, like something standing behind him saying, I live in him, I occupy this space, he belongs to me, his soul is mine. And it's like it's saying, look at him, I'm presenting him to you, Jordan Roth. That's what I saw when I initially looked at this picture. It doesn't look like someone just wearing an outfit to me. It looks like something is presenting him. And I'll show you the back too. I apologize. This is the only picture I could find without wasting a lot of time. It's a bit blurry, but doesn't this look like that entity is coming out of him? This is a disturbing picture because this doesn't come across like normal fashion at all. And I've done my research. I've listened to people who've come out of Hollywood and they've told their story about how selling your soul works for fame and fortune. And I've also read biblical accounts of how the enemy works. So when I see something like this, I'm just looking at it as what it is. It looks like an entity coming out of this man's back. And then when you look at it from the front, it definitely looks like this entity is saying, I live in him, I occupy this space, and he belongs to me. Like he's presenting Jordan Roth. And this is what makes it so unsettling in my spirit, is because it's being normalized. We're seeing this over and over again to the point where people don't even react anymore. It's just called fashion. It's just called art or creativity. And when something like this becomes normal, that's when the lines start to blur and people become desensitized. They can't tell good from evil.
Met Gala 2026 is delightfully satanic, which would make sense when you have a group of billionaires come together. This is Jordan Roth, who looks like he's got a literal demon coming out of his back. Now, apparently this was inspired by sculptures coming to life, but this just looks like a full-blown possession to me. And look, when he turns around, it looks like there's a growth or something. What is this? And apparently he was inspired by this, which somehow looks even more satanic than the look that he's wearing. We got Sam Smith, who looks like Cruella de Vil and Maleficent had a baby with Satan, which is pretty on brand for him. And we got this one that looks like she's either covered by blood or she's being stabbed and have blood coming out of her. Allegedly, these are feathers, but I'm not buying that. And we've got this one that took off her face to put back on her face so she can have a mask of her face, which to billionaires makes perfect sense. And these are the people that run the world and tell us that they are better than us. This reminds me, billionaires are creepy.
Here we go. Straight up.
We have Beyonce here wearing a full skeleton. Now I'm just going to say this. This isn't new. She's been moving in this type of imagery for a long time. So when I say this, I'm not surprised. I'm not saying this like, oh, I just found out. And honestly, I don't even know how people can still sit and listen or watch or support her. So a skeleton, what does a skeleton represent? It represents death, not life, not growth, and not anything living. And that's the pattern I keep seeing. Because everything being pushed, everything being promoted is all pointing back to the same thing: death, decay, and destruction. And people are just sitting back watching it, consuming it, and calling it entertainment. But I'm looking at it differently. Because when something keeps glorifying death over and over again, you have to ask yourself, what is it really feeding? And more importantly, what is it doing to the people who keep taking it in? And most of us know what Beyonce is into, and it looks like she's raising up the next one in the same way, her own daughter Blue. The next generation of witches. Because influence doesn't just stay with one person, it gets passed down. And that's what makes this even more serious. Because what these Satanists are doing is they're passing down this darkness to the next generation, and the next generation is going to think it's normal. So I'm just going to close by saying this is not normal. This is normalization. It's blurring the lines, making what's dark look entertaining, making what's wrong look creative, and making what shouldn't feel right feel acceptable. And that's the problem, because once those lines are blurred, people stop recognizing the difference. And when people stop recognizing the difference, they stop questioning what they're seeing. They stop using discernment. Everything just becomes art. Everything just becomes fashion. And anything can be justified as long as it's presented in this way. And that's how influence works. It doesn't come all at once. It comes gradually until what used to stand out no longer does, until what used to feel off starts to feel normal. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to sit back and call this harmless entertainment when it clearly carries a dark energy and message. The world can label this abomination whatever they want. They can call it art, entertainment, fashion, but I'm going to call it what I see. And what I see is something that's shifting people slowly but surely into accepting things they once would have questioned without hesitation. Be vigilant, family. And may the Most High bless all deserving. And until my next video, Shalom.